Hey everybody, this is MC with MC Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Tomb Raider, a third-person action-adventure game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Square Enix. Will this new reimagining of the game's main protagonist be a hit for original fans and newcomers alike, or will the new Laura fail to climb to the heights of her old self? Let's get on with the review. Personally, I thought Tomb Raider was gorgeous. The new look for Laura is awesome. But I'll be honest, I didn't play a lot of the old Tomb Raiders. In fact, there are a few titles I didn't touch at all, like Guardian of Light, which I have only heard great things about, so I really don't have the experience to properly compare it to the past titles. But as its own game, it looks great. The model for Laura is really well done. Her character model changes throughout the game to show how much she has gone through. The other character models you'll see in the game are basic enemies, Laura's shipmates, and other characters in cutscenes. I personally thought that all of the character models looked pretty great, both in-game and in cutscenes. I will say that I didn't think that there were a ton of clothing variations in the enemies though. From the beginning of the game to the end, for the most part, I felt like the enemies basically all looked the same. Laura's animations are what's truly awesome though. Her lifelike movements must be seen to really know how good it looks. There is never a moment in which she is standing completely still. This adds to the immersion and makes Laura feel like a real person. You'll see her grab her side after jumping from a high place and then struggle to stand back up. And the really cool thing is that none of these animations slow down the gameplay at all. Everyone else's animations look to be pretty standard though, and when compared to Laura, there is a pretty big difference. I thought the environments looked pretty awesome too. There are multiple places throughout the game to see a beautiful mountain view or tranquil beach scene. The world for the most part is pretty well textured too, which makes the items that are not so well textured pretty obvious. The tombs, caves, and caverns were so fun to explore because of how beautiful they were. It wasn't just the design of the areas, but the art inside of them that made them feel like authentic ancient grounds. One thing I noticed about the game is how many screenshots I took. I think I took about 60 screenshots by the time I was done, and they all looked awesome. And there's no HUD except when you're using it, which makes taking screenshots exceptionally easy. Overall, I thought the graphics were great with only a few rough patches here and there. In the beginning, Laura and her crew are aboard their ship, the Endurance, on a journey to find the lost kingdom of Yamatai. After following a suggestion made by Laura, most of the team decides to take a different route than they were originally planning. This route goes through an area called the Dragon's Triangle. While going through the triangle, their ship crashes and is basically destroyed. The crew makes it, but Laura becomes separated. She then learns that a large amount of people are already living on the island and seem to have gone completely crazy. Once the crew is reunited, they search for a way off the island while doing their best to survive. I really enjoy the gameplay of Tomb Raider. At first I thought that there was going to be a ton of cover shooting, only to realize later that I was completely right. The only thing is, it's really good here. The system doesn't lock you into cover in any way, basically allowing the freest cover system I think I've ever used. Generally when you fight enemies, they'll be coming from one direction. Conveniently, there are usually a few indestructible boxes for you to use as cover. What I liked about the enemy encounters is that there's usually only a few enemies you have to fight, and then later, maybe 8 or 9 you'll have to fight in one session. No fight with basic enemies ever dragged on for longer than I thought it should have. I will say I was disappointed in the bosses of the game though. Not only are there a criminally low amount of them, but they didn't even feel like bosses, more like buffed up regular characters. Even the last boss was very lame to me. The last boss could easily have been used as a heavy enemy for certain scenarios and would have been awesome. Laura has 4 weapons, a bow, a pistol, an assault rifle, and a shotgun. And technically you can hit people with your pickaxe as well. Each of these weapons can be upgraded, ranging from a muzzle brake for added accuracy or a grenade launcher attachment. You purchase these items with the in-game currency, salvage, which can be picked up off of enemies or found in crates around the island. In addition to weapon upgrades, you can make upgrades to Laura as well. Whenever you level up, you will be awarded with a skill point. You can use these skill points on upgrades like added defense or making important items easier to see. You buy these upgrades at campfires littered around the world. I want to compare these campfires to Dark Souls campfires, but comparing this game to Dark Souls in any way just doesn't seem right. You will also use these campfires to save the game as well. The game's climbing and traversal system is pretty great. Laura can jump far distances and grab onto ledges with ease. You can even climb certain mountain walls with your pickaxe. I found these sections to be pretty awesome and was completely blown away at how smooth the animations looked throughout, as well as how fast she moved around. On the island, you will definitely find a lot of things to do. The game has collectibles as well as small quests for you to do in each area you are in. In one part of the game, you'll be lighting relics that haven't been lit for thousands of years, and in another, blowing up mines around a beach. You'll also find treasure from ancient times littered across the island as well. Some of these items can even be further observed to learn a deeper backstory. I will say one thing I was really annoyed with was the amount of QuickTime events in the game. I personally hate QuickTime events. I'm used to sitting back and watching a cutscene between gameplay. A moment to take a breather and just watch what's happening. This game isn't full of QuickTime events, but the ones that they have are very annoying to me. I find almost nothing more irritating than missing a QuickTime event and then having to restart that scene all over again. There are also a few QuickTime events while fighting certain enemies, and I found this to be a little less annoying, but I'm sure they could have found another way around it. Overall though, I was really happy with the gameplay here. Tomb Raider is currently $20 on Steam and $10 on console. I have 40 hours clocked in on this title, which puts it at 50 cents an hour and was definitely worth it. Though I should mention that this playthrough was about 10 hours. If you're a fan of the series and you haven't played it yet, you should check it out. If you want to play Uncharted but you don't own a PS3 or PS4, you should check it out. With zip lines for days, great climbing mechanics, and the sexiest hair in video games, I give Tomb Raider an 8 out of 10. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining in on my review of Tomb Raider. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and please subscribe if you haven't yet. I do take criticism very seriously, so if you didn't like the video, please hit that dislike button and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Or if you just want to say hi, that's okay too. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Come here.
Get off! Let go! Damn, how many are there?